This fine painting, The Water Seller of Seville, is normally to be found at Apsley House in London. It was painted by the Spanish artist Velasquez in 1620. Throughout his life, Velasquez demonstrated a remarkable ability to observe and record reality, and was able to achieve a great sense of naturalism in his pictures. Just look for a moment at the amazing skill of this artist. Much of this painting is a wonderful study in still life. The texture of the clay pots and the play of light on the coloured surfaces gives them a presence and reality and solidity which is quite remarkable and so lifelike. The shape and colour of both pots have been beautifully rendered, and you can see how the potter has shaped and dimpled these two large vessels. On top of the small one is a clay filter, and between the filter and this dimpled pot you may just be able to see one or two tiny drops of water. Even more amazing is the painting of the glass, which is such a difficult thing to do, especially when it contains water, and also, in this case, a black fig to freshen the water. And it is the attention given to these vessels which makes them so remarkable. The artist is able to see and reproduce the inner spirit of these vessels to such an extent that it reminds us that the whole of the created order is full of the glory of God and proclaims the nature and beauty of being itself. And we can see this for ourselves if we will only take time to look deeply into the nature of things. As well as the beauty of the pots, Velasquez has also been able to show us something of the character of the two main figures in the painting. There is the young innocent boy and the old man, the water seller, whose face is scarred by many years in the hot sun of Seville. His pensive face is covered with the wrinkles of old age, and speaks of long years of life and experience in the city. His shaved head and old plain clothes, again beautifully painted, give him the look of a monk or a saint or a philosopher. Both the old man and the young boy represent some of the poor of Seville, for whom Velasquez had such a great respect. But what is going on in this picture, which has been so skillfully painted? In essence, it is a study of communion and compassion. On the right stands the water seller, one of the poor of Seville, who managed to earn a little money by taking his large clay pitcher or pot to the public fountains, where he filled it with water, and it was then carried by his mule to the pitch where he sold water in the heat of a Spanish summer. But in this picture there's no money to be seen. Some of the water has been poured into the glazed pot to the left, on which rests a filter, and from this smaller clay pot the water would have been poured into the glass goblet, beautifully painted and decorated with small pearls of glass at the base of the bowl. And so far, this is a still life, a study in pots. But there is a stillness, a silence in this painting, accentuated by the two quiet people on whom the hot sun shines. On the one hand, this is really a secular picture of ordinary people, of water vessels, and the mundane reality of life in a large city. But it is also, and most profoundly, a religious painting as well. Whoever gives you a cup of cold water to drink will by no means lose his reward. It isn't a traditional religious painting like one of the birth of Christ or the visit of the wise men, but it is essentially conveying the same message, an expression of incarnation and compassion. It is all about the presence of God, or being, at the heart of our ordinary material and human life. It is about the mystery of communion and the sacramental presence of the divine. Here are these two quiet people in communion. The old man in his torn leather poncho, which is not unlike a priest's chasuble in shape. He also has a priestly dignity and grace as he serves or administers the water to the intent and reflective boy. It is a simple exchange. It is an act of grace, a pure gift. There's no speech, but this action reminds us of the central essence of a service of Holy Communion, in which bread and wine are blessed and given. And although this is a silent picture without words, what Velasquez has been able to do is to indicate the inward value of love and care, which are forever contained here in the shared communion of these two people, in the gift of water and in the beauty of the vessels and the unity of the painting. Here we are in the presence of the holy, of the essence of God as gift. For the old man is giving, not selling. He gives out of his poverty to the needs of the boy. And our paradoxical human and divine nature is beautifully illustrated here. For on the one hand, we, like the boy, receive with joy the gift of God's essence and being, the water of life. We accept the unfolding love of God. But we must also identify with the priestly old man, whose gift of water represents our divinely inspired human compassion, the outpouring of practical concern to the poor of the world, to those who long for water, and also those who are athirst for the being and presence of God. So this is a holy picture of two hands holding one glass filled with the water of life, giving, receiving, exchanging, making present the love and compassion and being of God. It is true sacrament. Jesus said, "The water I shall give will become a spring of water, welling up to eternal life." And again, whoever gives you a cup of cold water to drink will by no means lose their reward.